Hi, and welcome to my seventh book review of the Black Library Advent 2021. Today we will review the book Monster by Noah van Nguyen. Um, this book pretty much covers Stormcast Eternal from the Age of Sigmar, and we're precisely more following Yndrasta. If you don't know, there was a huge release of a box for Age of Sigmar, and the Stormcast Eternal leader that was available in that box was Yndrasta. She's a Stormcast Eternal with large white wings. A really beautiful model. So the Black Library resume goes as follows. Yndrasta is actually tracking a greater demon, and she's trying to kill it. When she encounters him, he sends her into another world where she meets an old enemy of Sigmar. And there she kind of have a battle of the wits with him of what makes a monster within the realm. What is a real monster? Is she a monster? What's a monster? That's pretty much what the resume says. I'm pretty happy with this resume. It's actually pretty accurate. That's exactly what it is. So I'll still give my little resume of that book, but it's going to be really short. Yndrasta is on the battlefield and she's searching for a specific enemy, a greater demon. And she's really focused on seek and destroy. Nothing else matters. And the only thing she's focused on is to find that demon and kill it. When she encounters him, he sends her into that weird parallel universe where she meets an old enemy of Sigmar. But he wasn't always the enemy of Sigmar, and that's what makes it so interesting. From there, they got that battle of the wits about is she a monster or not, and is he really an evil guy or not. So that's pretty much the story. I'll admit the beginning of this book was kind of not confusing. I wasn't sure where it was going because the character is so much focused on finding that demon that she kind of feels stupid. But it's actually really intelligent because the writer, by doing this, makes her interaction with that enemy of Sigmar so more interesting. Because then when they fight with their wits, she's so focused on whatever is her goal, and him calling her a monster, like a brain dead monster, kind of resonate. So don't let the first pages of this book fool you, because this book becomes so beautiful from the mid part and up. So that preparation really is just there to show you what kind of behavior she has, what type of person she is. And then when she encountered that enemy, we can see that contrast of her action and his action. And you can start to wonder, is Sigmar really a good guy or not? And this for me really made it a great book. When I started reading it, I was about to give it like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I was like, not giving you much of anything. But by the end of it, I'm actually giving it an 8 out of 10. Really good book. And I think it took me about 45-50 minutes. And by the end, I was really happy. A bit short on the ending. I would have wished to get a bit more. But it's actually what you want with a niche short. You want something that bites you and make you want to read more about it. So after that interaction, I'm actually interested to know more about Yndrasta and see where she's going from here. That contrast between her and that enemy makes it beautiful. And for once, it's not fists and spear and blood and gore. So it's still grimdark, but you really get that battle of the moral, and I really enjoyed that. And Nguyen really did a beautiful job with this story, and I'm really proud. For me, if you're a fan of Age of Sigmar, I would say go read it, because just the fact it's related to Sigmar, we get a tidbit more information about Sigmar. if you love Stormcast Eternal, you get more information about them, and it's really interesting. And you get a bit more information about the whole universe and the greater demons. So for me, it's actually a big win. It's actually really well done. I should really give it a 9 out of 10 instead of an 8. Sorry, instead of an 8 out of 10. But at the same time, I could see a lot of people stop reading it from the first few pages and being like, that's not really interesting, and that character is not that great. And I hate to say that, but I could see some people saying, oh, Justice Warriors got into that writer. And I can tell you it is not the case. It's really a way to show the contrast between a focused warrior that fights for his belief versus somebody that got enlightened or that got traumatized from another situation. And both can connect and at the same time not. And it's really interesting for that. So if you start reading it, please remove that idea of Justice Warrior and feminism being forced down your throat and really focus on the type of behavior she has as a fighter, as a soldier, for focus of her job and her belief. And then when you'll reach that part, that is the talk with the enemy, you will always expect something to happen really that is different. So that is kind of really fun because I was actually reading and expecting always something specific to happen, and it never happened. So I'm really happy for this. Nguyen really did a beautiful job with this one, and I actually really enjoyed it. And it's kind of surprising because I'm not a big fan usually of the Age of Sigmar lore, and not, like I said, it's more because I'm a big fan of the old fantasy Warhammer. So now getting that little glimpse, I was like, that's actually pretty interesting. And I want to read more about Nguyen's book now. And because that was my first book with him. And yeah, that was actually really great. So I suggest it to everybody if you're really interested to the Age of Sigmar. Good introduction, good story about Yndrasta, good story to the introduction of the Stormcast Eternal, and a bit of general lore up to it. So yeah, that was really great. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys around.